Hello and welcome to the Boom Fact Check, where we discuss what made the news this week and whether it was real or not. I'm Suyash Barve, and with me is the always alliterative Jancy Jacob from Boom.
Hi Suyash.
Let's dive right in. This past week saw the tragic slaying of journalist Gauri Lankesh, but the fake news brigade does not understand the concept of a mourning period. Tell us, Jancy, how did Gauri Lankesh become Gauri Lankesh Patrick?
In fact, Suyash, we were all wondering that how come the fake news brigade had actually spared her. The first 2 days nothing came. The third day itself, as we can see this image as well, there are these pictures that came in calling Gauri Lankesh Patrick. Now it's very interesting how this Patrick came into the picture. So her magazine, the weekly magazine that she ran, we all know, is called Gauri Lankesh Patrike, and Patrike means a journal in Kannada.
Right.
Now some smart person decided that it's a nice way to spread some fake news, so that Patrike became Patrick, and they said that she is actually a Christian. Now you can see this image as well, where they're saying that Gauri Lankesh Patrick was a real name. Why do these scums hide their full names? Now why did anyone use Patrick? Because they wanted to prove that the reason why she was anti-right-wing and she used to write against the RSS is because she had a Christian surname and she was a Christian. And that probably is the reason what explains her hatredness towards Hindutva and RSS. Now in one of the first images that we saw, that she was buried. Now this is also something which actually created a lot of confusion, that why is a Hindu being buried and not cremated. Now in fact she belongs to a community called Lingayats, and Lingayats in fact bury their dead and they do not cremate. That's the reason why and she's also an atheist, so without any funeral rites she was actually buried. But the fake news brigade thought that it's a nice time to call her a Christian and probably promote some fake news.
Right, so communal angle where there actually was none.
Yes, and also here, she's also holding a glass of alcohol.
So of course, perfect, that shaming too is, of course, is a given.
Yes,
almost.
that's also another shaming that they could do.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, for our next story, we're going to try something a little bit different. Bear with us. For once, instead of debunking a story, we're actually going to call it out as real. Tell us more, Jancy, about this fact check first.
Okay, so this story is from Bangladesh. We could see this young child. She's posing in a blood-stained rainwater. It's a street image where you can see all blood-stained water, and she's posing in that. Now this photographer called Nasif Imtiaz, he had posted this picture on Facebook. Now he came under a lot of flack for posting what people thought is a photoshopped image. Now, a lot of Muslims took they were very upset with this picture, and they said that you photoshopped this girl within this picture. Now he also put out a lot of other videos and said that this is not photoshopped, this is real, and we found out, we did our own fact check and we found this is real. Now why probably this is also interesting. Now this is a very regular problem in Bangladesh after the festival of Eid al-Adha, where there is a sacrifice that happens, and all the blood along with the rains and because of poor drainage, it all flows into the streets, and it's a quite gross picture that many of the foreign publications have put this out, and we have also seen this before.
Right, so this is actually real, as grotesque and as straight out of a horror movie as it looks.
Yes.
It looks straight out of a Stanley Kubrick movie,
right.
But it is real.
Yes,
right,
yes, it is real, and that's why we mosaic the children's faces, because we didn't want to reveal their identity.
All right. Moving on now. The world has been gripped by the images of the devastation in Houston, Texas. The flooding has been severe and the devastation has been widespread. But one particular story has been gripping WhatsApp groups in this country. That of a mosque in Houston turning away hurricane survivors.
Yes.
Jancy, tell us more.
Now, so this is Hurricane Harvey, which took place a few weeks back. And there was a story which came there in the US media about how this mosque in Houston, who had actually turned away a lot of hurricane survivors because they were not Muslims and they didn't want to help those who were not Muslims. Now this happened a few weeks back, and they talked about a mosque called Ramashan in Houston. Now interestingly, this story was debunked, but it all came back on September 6th. You can see this handle called Tapan Ghosh, extremely right-wing and always guilty of promoting fake news. We have caught him many times and we have also called him out on Twitter, but yet again he started doing this. In fact, there was another handle also who had who had put out this fake news, but she accepted that it was a mistake and she took it down. So that is Sonam Mahajan, but she did accept that that this image she didn't know was not true. The core news here was, or the fake news that they wanted to put out, that this America's last line of defense. This is a satirical publication. They said they made up quotes and they also came up with various stories around it. But if you go and read their disclaimer, it is very clear that they have said that we present this as fiction as fact and our source don't actually exist. In fact, in other words, if you believe this crap, you're a real dumbass. That's the disclaimer that they have put out. So this story actually made a re-entry on in Indian media and social media after a few weeks after it was debunked in the US.
I can think of a few Indian publications that maybe should run with that disclaimer though.
Yeah.
And also the mosque that in question doesn't actually exist.
It doesn't exist. And
Yeah,
there
it's
are
not even.
in fact, there are several local mosques who are also reported to have gone out of the way to help people who were survivors. So
Right.
that's the truth.
So yeah, it's very difficult for a mosque that doesn't exist to let in hurricane survivors. Kind of a problem.
Yes.
And finally, it's something you might find in almost every medicine cabinet, but can it kill you? Tell us, Jency, about the supposed dangers of Combiflam.
So this message has been going around. Trendingtoday.online. Now this is the website which was putting it out, saying that Combiflam की एक गोली आपकी जान भी ले सकती है. खुद कंपनी मार्केट से ये गोलियां वापस मंगवा रही है. अपने दोस्तों और फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ शेयर करें. Now this has been going viral on WhatsApp, on Facebook, not so much on Twitter, but WhatsApp and Facebook, this has been going viral. It wanted to say that if you have even a pill of Combiflam, you can die. Now, one reason why they were saying it, because there was actually a real news that Combiflam, certain batches of Combiflam in 2015 were found to be substandard. And they were the problem that the company, we spoke to the company Sanofi India, and they said that there was a delayed disintegration issue with the pill, which means that once you consume this Combiflam, it takes time for the pill to disintegrate in your body.
So the effectiveness is
and
delayed.
effectiveness is delayed. So
Right.
there is no other danger, no real danger. In fact, we spoke to a doctor as well. He said, don't take Combiflam just for the sake of it, because Combiflam is also a combination of two formulations, paracetamol and ibuprofen. So you don't really, it's high dosage.
Right.
You don't really take it without the doctor's prescription.
Right, so it can't kill you is the final word. That's it from the team here at The Fact Check. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.